Long ago, in the golden city of Basra, where merchants wove tales as fine as their silks, there lived a humble woodcutter named Ali Baba. He was a man of simple means, earning just enough to provide for himself and his loyal servant, Mariam. Despite his poverty, Ali Baba was known for his kindness. He never let a hungry child go without food, nor a weary traveler without rest. His elder brother, Qasim, was quite the opposite: wealthy, proud, and greedy. Though he owned a thriving shop in the market, he never shared his fortune, looking down upon Ali Baba as nothing more than a beggar. One fateful day, as Ali Baba ventured deeper into the forest in search of wood, he came upon a hidden clearing surrounded by jagged rocks. Just as he was about to leave, the sound of hooves thundering against the earth made him freeze. Quickly, he hid behind a boulder and peered out. Through the trees emerged 40 masked riders on horseback, their cloaks dark as midnight, their weapons gleaming under the sun. They were thieves, the most feared bandits in the land, led by a cruel and cunning leader named Zafar the Jackal. Ali Baba watched as Zafar dismounted and stepped toward the largest boulder in the clearing. Raising his arms, he uttered the words, "Open, O Ruby." At once, the boulder rumbled and split apart, revealing a vast cavern glistening with treasures. The thieves entered, carrying stolen chests of gold, silks, and jewels into their secret lair. Ali Baba, heart pounding, waited until the thieves had disappeared inside. Then, daring to step closer, he repeated the words, "Open, O Ruby." The cavern obeyed. The Ruby of Shadows, Ali Baba, stepped into a world of untold riches. Gold coins spilled over in gleaming piles, sapphires and emeralds twinkled like captured stars, and jeweled goblets stood stacked upon one another. But amid the treasure, one object called to him a ruby, deep red as blood, set in an obsidian amulet. As soon as Ali Baba touched it, the cavern grew darker. A whisper slithered into his ear. "You have taken the heart of shadows. Beware, mortal. I bring wealth, but at a price." Ali Baba shivered, but quickly gathered a small sack of gold before rushing out of the cavern. As he escaped back to Basra, he did not notice the ruby pulsing in his pocket, as though alive. A brother's greed. That night, Ali Baba confided in Mariam, telling her of the cave and the magic words. She urged him to keep it a secret, but fate had other plans. His brother Qasim, always eager for wealth, spied on their conversation and, the next morning, rode to the forest alone. Greedy for treasure, he filled sack after sack, stuffing his robes with gold. But in his greed, he forgot the words to leave. "Open, O Ruby," he tried. "Unlock, O Jewel," he begged. But the cavern remained sealed. Hours later, the 40 thieves returned. Enraged to find Qasim inside, Zafar had him seized and executed, hanging his body at the entrance as a warning. The thieves seek vengeance. Ali Baba was devastated by his brother's fate, but knew he must act carefully. He and Mariam retrieved Qasim's body under cover of night, giving him a proper burial. But Zafar, through dark magic, sensed the ruby's presence had been disturbed. He sent his spies to the city, vowing to find and kill whoever had entered his sacred vault. The thieves disguised themselves as merchants, carrying 40 oil jars into the city. But inside the jars hid the thieves themselves, waiting for nightfall to strike. Mariam, ever clever, grew suspicious when she passed by the jars and heard whispered breaths. Quietly, she fetched a pot of boiling oil and poured it into each jar, silencing the hidden assassins one by one. When Zafar arrived, expecting his men to attack, he found only death. Furious, he faced Ali Baba and demanded the ruby's return. The final battle. The ruby burned in Ali Baba's hand, whispering dark promises. It offered him unimaginable power, the strength to defeat Zafar with a single command. Accept me, and you will rule over kings. Ali Baba was tempted, but then he thought of Mariam, the people of Basra, and his own heart. He would not let greed consume him. Instead, he threw the ruby to the ground and shouted, "Break, O ruby, I free the shadows." A blinding red light burst forth. The magic of the ruby, centuries old and filled with the stolen power of thieves and kings, unleashed itself upon Zafar. The shadows he once controlled turned against him, dragging him into the abyss. His screams echoed into nothingness, a new beginning. With the ruby destroyed, the thieves' magic crumbled. Their cavern collapsed, sealing its treasures forever beneath the earth. Ali Baba, freed from temptation, used the gold he had taken to help the people of Basra. He built homes for the poor, fed the hungry, and never again sought riches beyond what he needed. And Mariam? She became his most trusted advisor, ensuring that no more greed would take root in their hearts. Thus, Ali Baba's name was not remembered as a thief or a king, but as a man who conquered the darkness within and chose the path of light. And so his legend lived on, brighter than gold. The end.